opportunity to meet me. My name is Joseph Maina, and I'm a proud member of this organization, Beyond Survival Campaign, or BSC. And I have been working with this organization now for quite some time. I've been working with this organization now for a period of around 7 years. And I can tell you that this is one of the best things that has ever happened to me. Today, as I was thinking about what to train, I really made several trainings, and I was thinking, what do I really train today that probably could help every particular type of a person? I thought about what about I teach prospecting? And then I was like, okay, prospecting probably wamefunzwa. What about I teach closing? And then I was like, if I'm to teach closing, some people probably already know how to do closing. And then I thought about it, and what about I teach leadership? And I was like, of course, leadership is very important, but probably a majority of the people have not yet gotten to a level where they would be able to understand what I'll be talking about. And so I resolved, in order for me to be as authentic as I can be, today I want to teach you 10 lessons from my 7 years in this business. I have been able to learn quite a lot of lessons. I've basically learned so many lessons. If I was only to write or to teach you on all the lessons that I've learned in this business, probably it could probably take 3 days or even 10 days, and we can be able to take a lot of time to learn the lessons that I've learned in this business. And I know if I was probably to write about the lessons that I've learned, I think it will require a book or two in order for me to be able to put all the lessons that I have been able to learn throughout this business. Because this business not only made me money, this business not only gave me a chance to become recognized and one of the top leaders and one of the people with the highest rank in the company, but this business also gave me an opportunity of becoming a different person. And I would say this business, yes, it has been a time of making money and all that, but most importantly, the journey that I have spent in this business, the last 7 years, they have been 7 years of becoming. I repeat, my 7 years in this business have been 7 years of becoming. If you can hear my voice, go to the chat box and write becoming. I remember when I joined this business, when I was just a very new person, 2 weeks old in the business, my upline Francis once asked me, what is more important in this business? Is it the money that you will make or the person that you will become? And of course, at that particular time, there was nothing that I wanted. There's nothing like becoming that I wanted. All I wanted is money, because I knew if I had a rent that I could pay, all I needed was money to pay rent. There was no way that my landlord would ask me for rent, and then I would tell them, I don't have money right now because I'm becoming. So I knew when I was starting this particular business as a new person, I always thought that all that mattered out of this business, or what I needed from this business, was money. But then as I continued building the business, I was able to transform to become a different person altogether. And right now, if someone was to ask me the same question that I was asked when I was 2 weeks old in the business, if someone was to ask me the question of, Joseph, what is the most important thing that you have gotten in this business? I would probably tell that person is who I have become. The cars were important, the money has been important, the experience has been important, but the most important thing that I've gotten from this powerful opportunity is the person that I've gotten to become. I've gotten to become somebody who is totally different. The way I was thinking 7 years ago and the way that I'm thinking right now, they are definitely two different things. If probably you are my friend 7 years ago and you're my friend today, you're my friend today, you definitely know that I'm not the same friend that you had 7 years ago. Someone once told me that, Joseph, you don't step into the same river twice, because this time you won't be the same person, or the river won't be the same. And that is the most unique thing, that right now as we speak, I have become a totally different person. And today I like to just get to become as authentic as I can be and share with you my lessons from the last 7 years. Some of these lessons, actually majority of these lessons that I'm going to be sharing with you, I've basically learned them from a bitter experience. I've actually learned them from as a mistake that I made, or sometime as something that I would have done differently. And so I ended up learning the lesson. Let me start with something that I was sharing with the team that I was training some few hours ago, and I was telling them that the most important thing that you need to understand in this business is that when you receive rejection, when somebody tells you no in this business, that builds you. If somebody tells you yes, that builds your account. I repeat, no's build you, yes, build your business. So basically, these lessons that I've learned, or my 10 lessons in 7 years, what they have been is that I've learned 10 lessons from 7 years, and they have been from a point of pain. There's nothing that basically helps us to learn as fast as pain. When you're having a good time, when you're comfortable, you hardly learn. But when you're going through a hard time, whenever you're going through a rough patch, or whenever you realize you made a certain mistake, you are easily able to learn. So let's go to my lessons, my 10 lessons from 7 years, or the 10 lessons that I have been able to learn from the last 7 years. And my first lesson in this particular business is I learned that my dream was my limit. And I would want to inform you, each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen, that your dream is your limit. Now, most of the time when you're talking about our dreams, of course, we always talk about our dreams as positive and negative and everything. But personally, one of the things that I have realized is that if there's something that has limited me to be able to become a better version of myself, or if there's something that has limited me from succeeding in life, is basically my inability to dream bigger. One thing that I have learned is that the limit to my success was my ability to dream. If I made 3 million shillings in 1 year, is because I didn't dream or see myself making more. So what has limited me? What has made me to make small money? What has made me to not be living the dream life that I should have been living right now? Is because I never saw myself living a bigger life than the one that I'm having right now. And so one of the things that I have learned is basically, in order for me to be able to succeed in my business, or in order for me to be able to succeed in life, I need to get to a level where I am seeing bigger things than I'm currently experiencing. In order for me to be able to make 10 million shillings, I should be able to see myself making that particular 10 million shillings. I learned this quote from a gentleman by the name Holton Bugs. He says that you will never get what you do not picture. So I have basically realized, or I basically learned within my 10 years period, that my biggest limit is not even not working, is not even anything that I thought it was all about, but my biggest limit has been not dreaming big. So if I was to give anybody an advice, especially if you are new in the business, you probably joined this week, you probably joined last month, you probably joined last year, my advice will be dream bigger, and always realize that your dream is your biggest limit. So if you really want to get beyond, if you really want to achieve something, raise the dream. If you can be able to raise the dream, you're going to achieve way much more. The speed of getting result in business is also determined by how soon you can see yourself getting the results. I repeat, the speed of getting results in business is also determined by how soon you can see yourself getting the results. What do I mean? For example, if you're in this business, probably you've just joined last month or this month or last month but one, and you would want to make 1 million shillings in your first 1 year. The question is, can you see yourself making 1 million in 1 year? If you cannot see yourself making 1 million in 1 year, probably it's not going to happen. So what do you need to do? You really need to ensure that you can dream as big, as fast as possible. As Holtenberg would say, dream much bigger, much sooner. If you can hear my voice, go to the chat box and write much bigger, much sooner. What does it mean? Much bigger, the bigger the dream, the bigger you'll achieve. Much sooner, the faster you dream, the faster you'll achieve it. What do I mean? If you think of making 1 million in the next few months, you can be able to do it. But if you think about making 1 million shillings in the next 10 years, trust me, it's still gonna take you 10 years to make 1 million shillings. So dream much bigger, much sooner. So you need to try as much as possible to dream bigger. You need to try to, as much as you can, to dream bigger sooner. Dream bigger sooner. What do I mean? You need to think about, how can I make 1 million shillings? But it's not about making 1 million shillings. It's about making 1 million as soon as possible. And this has been like the solutions that I've basically learned from the same. The first thing that I've realized from my own lessons is dream much bigger, much sooner, number one. Number two, you'll build the dream bigger by exposing yourself. So you really need to get to that particular level where you practice the law of exposure. We call it the law of exposure. And the law of exposure basically dictates that basically what you have allowed to settle for right now is what you believe you currently deserve, or what has been exposed to you. So what do you do in order for you to expose yourself? You need to put yourself in a room where people are dreaming bigger than you, people are dreaming faster than you. Let me put it like that. Put yourself in a room where people are dreaming bigger than you, number one. Number two, put yourself in a room where people are dreaming faster than you. What do I mean? If you really want to achieve, to dream, to expand your consciousness, we call it expanding your consciousness, or being able to be conscious about how much money you can make and how much you can be able to succeed. I really want you to do this. Number one, put yourself in an event where somebody is speaking about big things. For example, for you right now, probably 100,000 shillings is a lot of money. And the reason why 100,000 shillings is a lot of money is because you don't know there are people who are making more money than that. And how would you know unless you put yourself in a room where people are making more than that money? So put yourself in a room where people are talking about bigger things, and you'll be able to see that bigger things are possible also for you. Number two, you also need to travel. I have basically learned something, and I'll basically say that I've learned it quite late, that each and every particular time that you travel, you will never be the same again. You'll never be the same person again. Because when you travel, you'll meet different people. When you travel, you'll have a different experience. And remember, this life that we are living, especially when you're living a life in this particular business, it is all about gathering experiences. If you really want to succeed in this business, you must focus on gathering experiences. And so the most important thing that you can do for yourself and your business in this business is to travel. Number one, travel. Number two, put yourself in a room where people are talking about big money, where people are talking about big dreams. Remember, if you surround yourself with people who don't talk about big dreams, not going to achieve. One thing has happened to me, and I want you to pay attention to the next video that I'm about to play to you. And this video probably is going to help you to shift your consciousness, and you're going to you'll start looking at our business in a different way. You'll start looking at our business in a different way. Let's watch this video together. As you note from that video, and that is something that I've personally been able to note, that is the account of the top one Philippines, Sir Albert Jasma. And now, Sir Albert Jasma, you notice from the second dashboard, he had already made 16 out of 16. He has maxed out his second dashboard. And the first dashboard is at 12 out of 16. You will notice his username is just like ours. My username and your username and the password is just the same thing. But for him, he has two dashboards. And the first dashboard has already maxed out 16 out of 16. The second dashboard has already made 12 out of 16. You can actually see both of the two dashboards. Dashboard one is a global ambassador. Dashboard two is a global ambassador. Dashboard one has 3 million pesos. That is around 10 million shillings. Dashboard two has 100,000 pesos. Basically, I guess that's what he had made on that particular specific day. And I was thinking about it and I was like, this gentleman is already making more than 20 million shillings in a month in the same business that I'm doing with the same company that I'm actually working with. And probably this gentleman is able to do all of that, and probably it could happen for me. But the biggest problem with me is limiting myself. But one of the things that you will learn is that this particular person, Sir Albert Jasma, he has what you call a mindset shift. For example, probably my mindset is very limited, but his mindset is very expanded. His consciousness is really expanded. And you realize this gentleman always takes seriously traveling. As you can see right now, ako ndani ya ndege akienda in another place, basically to go and expose himself. So basically, one thing that I learned is that my dream is my limit. If I really want to go as high as I can, I really need to ensure that I keep on dreaming, to set a new dream, to work on towards getting a new dream. And you are not old to set a new dream. I know most of us, we even stopped adding accounts. You have 10 accounts, you have 2 accounts, you have 3 accounts, you have 5 accounts, you even have 10 accounts, and you stopped there. And now you're saying, let me just look for people to put in these accounts. Hata hizi sijapata watu wa kuweka, so naongezaje. But now you realize this particular gentleman has opened a dashboard, filled a dashboard, added another dashboard, filled it. And if you saw from that list as he was logging in, he even had Albert Jasma 3. He has 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, this gentleman is definitely operating from a different level of consciousness than I am. And so I noted personally as Joseph, and I learned this quite late, that my dream is my limit. As long as I can dream to make 10 million shillings in a month, as much as I can see myself making 50 million shillings in a month, it's definitely gonna happen. So do not let your dreams limit you. Instead, give yourself a chance to dream again and to dream faster. So if you can hear my voice, go to the chat box and write dream faster, dream faster, dream faster, and dream again. If you go to the chat box and write dream again, we must give ourselves a chance to dream again. I want you to set a new goal. Probably you're over here and you've already filled your dashboard. You've probably opened 5 accounts. I want you to set a new dream. Okay, dream again, add another dashboard, start working towards building that particular dashboard and continue working towards becoming successful in those particular dashboards that you have. You need to dream again. Do not let your yesterday's achievements or your yesterday's problem limit you. Instead, set a new dream and start working towards it. That is the first lesson that I have learned for the last 10 years. Let's go to my second lesson. My second lesson is that in our business, we don't sell products nor opportunity. Most of us basically believe that we sell products over here or we sell the opportunity. Na ndio maana unafikiria whatever we sell over here in this business is basically we sell products at 42,000 or coffee at 2,000 shillings, or we sell the opportunity at 42,000, 29,000, 123,000 to 54,000 or 505,000. But basically what I have learned, and I basically probably learned it quite late, is that in our business, we don't sell products or the opportunity. What we sell in our business is that we are in a business of selling excitement or enthusiasm. The business we are in is selling excitement or enthusiasm. Therefore, you need to ensure that you are always excited in the whole sales process. That is basically what I learned. I learned it is not about saying the right thing. It is about how you're saying the thing. Let me repeat what I've just said. I learned quite late that in our business, it's not about knowing how to do closing. It's not even about knowing about how to do prospecting or invitation or closing or follow-up. It's about how are you doing it. And I noted there's some people who are very, very skilled in doing the activities, but they are not doing the activities. The energy they are giving out, it's not as important. I remember Sasilole last weekend on Saturday, he had written, it is not about the skills, it's about the energy. And I actually replied to his chat and I told him, the energy is the most important thing. And so one of the things that I have learned is that if you are in this business, the most important thing that you should be able to always ensure that it is on top notch. Iko pale juu ni excitement. If you're not excited, if you're not energetic, if you're not enthusiastic, the probability of you selling the business, the probability of you becoming successful becomes a little bit low. As one day, I think it's Winston Churchill who once said that success is moving from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Success is moving from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. I have basically realized that the people who are able to succeed in this business, especially succeeding in this business for a longer period of time, creating long-term success, are people who are able to go for a very, very long period of time with excitement. Most of us in this business, today you are doing the business, something goes wrong, you lose the excitement. Another person, you're doing everything, somebody quits your business, you lose the excitement. Today you're doing the business, somebody comes and they don't join the business, you lose the excitement. And the moment you lose the excitement, you lose your ability to sell. So basically in our business, we don't sell the products or the opportunity, we sell the excitement. Just imagine this, when you are new in this particular business, before you even had the results, people were always joining you. Do you know why they were joining you? They were joining you because they saw you as an excited person and they also wanted to be excited. Now you realize in our business, what we move is that we are showing people that they are happy. They are happy using our products, they are happy using our opportunity. And so excitement is the most important thing. And excitement should be built. You should always ensure that you're enthusiastic. And the more enthusiastic you are, the probability of you succeeding is very, very easy. Look at every person who is doing in this business very, very well. Those people are always very, very excited. When they talk to the guest, you can always say, hey, this particular person is happy. Okay, whenever they're doing closing, this particular person is happy. Whenever they're doing follow-up, this particular person is happy. So you really need to understand that you're in the game of moving enthusiasm. If you can hear my voice, go to the chat box and write excitement, excitement, excitement. Number two, it is not about how you do the activities. It is about the energy you have while doing the activities. Remember, energy is contagious. I repeat, energy is contagious. If today you are giving good energy, you will make people, utaambukiza watu hiyo energy yako ama hiyo excitement yako. Na kama uko excited na uongeleshe guest kuhusu excitement na aone wewe uko excited, purely anaona energy yako iko poa, atajoin tu, hata ajui anajoin nini. But amejoin tu juu kuna furaha, anajoin tu juu kuna energy, anajoin tu juu kuna enthusiasm. So no matter whatever you're going through, my advice is very, very simple. Before you show up in front of a guest, make sure you are happy. Now, how do you do this? The first thing that I want you to understand is that when it comes to new people, you realize that if something happens that is external, it is really, really going to affect you before you go to your prospect. But as you continue building your business, what you will realize is that as you continue building your business, you will get to a level where you are always excited. No matter what happens to you, even if you're having problems and troubles back at home, you will realize that even if you're having troubles at home, problems at home, you can remain excited. And that is the main challenge. How long can you maintain excitement? If you can maintain excitement for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, in 5 years we'll meet with you and you'll be driving a very, very big car. The problem with me personally is, Joseph, and this is a lesson that I learned, is that most of the time I lost the excitement about life, the excitement about the business, the excitement about making money, the excitement about wherever I was going. And I realized as soon as I get excited, things start happening for me. So my advice is very, very simple. Always build excitement. Number one, read books that will, that will give you some new motivation. Number two, listen to audios. Number three, attend meetings. Number four, watch videos. It's very, very important for you to do that. Sometimes, if, for example, watching comedy makes you excited, make sure you do that. But you must always ensure that you are excited about whatever you're building. Okay? Always ensure that you're excited. Now, an hour of learning a day will keep you excited. Let me repeat that. An hour of learning a day will keep you excited. Whenever you spend an hour, for example, every single day listening to success stories, if you spend an hour learning, watching some videos here and there, if you spend an hour reading a book about the business, about network marketing in general, you will remain excited about the industry, and the probability of you succeeding becomes very, very high. And that has been my second lesson. I'm hoping you have learned the second excitement. And let's go to the third lesson. The third lesson in my business has been, be your best downline. Be your best downline. Be your best downline. One of the things that I kind of ignored when I was new and my mentors were trying to tell me is I needed to be my best downline. Now, what do I mean? Don't allow any downline of yours to be better than you in anything, whether it's work ethic, skills, belief, attitude, and everything in general. Now, when I say don't allow any downline to be better than you, I'm not saying that you should now stop them whenever they want to be excited. You tell them, no, I don't want you to be excited. No, 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 no. I don't mean that you should tell your downline to stop believing. No, no, no. What I mean is outdo them in everything. For example, do you want your downlines to work harder than you? Do you want your downlines to work, then do more. Do you want your downlines to have a good work ethic? Be the leader in the work ethic. Work so hard that even if they don't work, you'll still be okay. Number two, be so skilled that you know all the skills even before they teach you. One of the lessons that I wish I should have learned and applied when I was new, before my 7 years in this business, is I should have learned that I should be my best downline. And that's an advice that I'll give you. Be your best downline. Let there be no any downline in your team who is outdoing you in this thing, who is outdoing you in work ethic, who is outdoing you in skills, commitment, belief, attitude, and everything. Have a superior attitude than them. Anytime that there's a downline who comes, joins you, and they outdo you, it will cost you. Let me repeat, it will cost you. And that is the first, the one thing that I can tell you. Be your best downline. Be a good example of what you like to duplicate in your organization. I repeat, be a good example of what you would like to duplicate in your organization. For example, would you want your office, your downlines to show up in the office on a daily basis? Go ahead and do that, and they'll see you doing that. We usually say in our business, it's a monkey see, monkey do. We always say in our business, it's a monkey see, monkey do. So be a good example of what you'd like to duplicate in your organization. Number three, people don't follow your mouth, they follow your footsteps. I repeat, people don't follow your mouth, they follow your footsteps. So it's not about what you're telling them. I know you're telling them very, very good things. You're even telling them how you used to do. You're telling them, when I was new, I used to do this. You're telling them, if I was you, this is what I would do. But they are not going to follow that. They are going to follow what they will see you doing. If they see you working, they will work. If they see you showing up, they will show up. If they see you dressing anyhowly, they'll dress up anyhowly. And you will not have any right to tell them to not do that, because people don't follow your mouth, they follow your footsteps. Watu fuata nyayo. Okay, if you can hear my voice, go to the chat box and write nyayo, nyayo, nyayo. People will follow your footsteps. They will see what you're doing, they will do the same, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, they will follow exactly what they will see you doing in our business. The other thing that I want you to understand is that bad teams don't exist. What exists is bad leaders. You claim, I'm a Kikuyu, I'm from the Murima. You claim that your downlines are not positive. You claim that your downlines are not excited. You claim that your downlines are not doing the activities. In reality, if the same downlines that are not doing the activities are given to a different upline, probably they will be producing more than they are producing currently. You're claiming that your downlines are not making money. You're claiming that your downlines are not buying cars. Do you know that if your downlines were given to another upline, they will be buying cars? Because bad teams don't exist. What exists is bad leaders. Bad teams don't exist. What exists is bad leaders. So do you want to have a good team? Be a good leader. Be a perfect example of what you would want duplicated in your team. Number one, if you are a good downline to yourself, if you're a good leader, if you're your best downline, even if your downlines don't produce, you will personally produce. And if you produce, even if they don't produce, you'll still be okay. You will make the money, you'll buy the cars, you will travel, and you'll be able to live the life that you will have wanted to travel. You'll live the life that you would have wanted to ever live. So be your best downline. Now let's go to lesson number 4. Lesson number 4 is a lesson that I would also want for each and every one of us to learn. And the lesson number 4 that I would want each and every one of us to learn is that experience is better than theory. Personally, what I did when I started building my business is that I learned the concept of personal development. I learned the concept of learning from reading books and watching videos and listening to audios and all that. And what I did is that I always thought that as long as I watched more videos, as long as I listened to more videos, of course, I will be able to grow. Because we are always told that work harder on yourself than you work on your job. So I kept on reading books, and it's not wrong to read books. I kept on listening to mentors, and I've seen some people who are always doing that, and there is nothing wrong with that. I see people who attend many sessions, okay, who read very many books, who attend many sessions. But one thing that I hadn't done, and this costed me very much, is that I hadn't plugged into my available upline or mentors mentorship. And one thing that I can advise you is plug into your available upline or mentors mentorship, not just an online mentor. What do I mean? If today you are in this business and you're currently learning, you are learning a lot from Eric Worre on YouTube, you are learning a lot from Holton Bugs on YouTube, you are learning so much from Pathmans and Adiraja on YouTube. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But above you plugging into those mentors, what I want you to do is plug into your available upline. If you can hear my voice, go to the chat box and write plug into your available upline. Plug into your available upline. Yes, you are claiming that you can learn from Holton Bugs, but you're not learning from Mentor Moses Adika. Yes, you are claiming you can learn from Eric Worre, but you're not learning from Sir Joseph Zilole. It basically means you're not teachable. It basically means that you're not humble enough. One thing that I can tell you is that theory can't overpower the experience they have. Theory cannot overpower the experience that your available uplines have. Be humble and be teachable. You realize most of us usually feel like, I now know more than my upline, and that is the biggest problem with people. My advice is plug into your available upline. Any upline who is available there for you, learn from them. Okay? Because how can you claim that you are a good teachable person and you cannot learn from your available person? How can you learn more from someone you've never met than someone you've met? Basically, if you cannot learn from your available upline and you're learning from an online mentor, to be honest with you, you're not humble. Na kuomoka kwako itakuwa ngumu. Succeeding for you is going to be very hard. So experience is better than theory. Go to someone who has already done it, who is doing it, someone who you know. Okay, someone who you know, and learn from them. What do I mean? Yes, I know my mentors from the US are making 100 million shillings per month. And I know my mentor from Nairobi is making 1.5 million shillings per month. What should I do? Huyo wa majuu wachana na yeye. Wacha niende kwa huyu mwenye naona kwanza anisaidie niunde hiyo 1.5. Tukishafika hapo tutaongea kuhusu hiyo mwingine. Hello? Let me make that 1.5 million shillings from my available mentor in Nairobi. When I get there, we'll now talk about how we can learn how to make 100 million. So I learned this quite late. And I got to a place where I now needed to humble myself to learn from my available mentors. I sit down with my mentor Moses. I sit down with my mentor Francis. I sit down with my mentor Mercy. I sit down with my mentor Collins, my mentor Joseph Silole, my mentor Nyamai, and I'm learning from them. Even some of them sometimes I might do better than them, but I'm still learning from them because experience is better than theory. So no matter how many philosophies you learn online, and there's nothing wrong with learning the philosophies because they help you so much, and you'll be able to apply some of them. But above all of that, plug into your available upline. That is the fourth lesson that I want you to learn quite early. Let's go to lesson number 5. Lesson number 5 is also related with lesson number 1, and that is the lesson of expanding your mind. I learned the concept of expanding my mind, and I learned that if your mind shrinks, your life shrinks also. Most of us already feel like the business is ending. And the reason why you feel like the business is ending is because your mind is shrinking, not that the business is ending. And that is the reason why most of us always talk about the good old days. Okay? We always talk in terms of life, like we always talk about our life in terms of kuna time nilikuwa nafanya kitu fulani. We always refer to the good old days. We always refer to how we used to be good. We always refer to our good days before. And the reason why we refer to those good old days is because our mind is not expanding. Our mind is shrinking. We feel like we have already lived our best days. We feel like I've already had the best. I've already made, like we always talk about, when I was new, I used to sign up 5 people in a week. And so we feel like that is the best we always have. And we'll always talk about that. And the reason why you feel like that is because your mind is shrinking. But what you must do is that you must have an advancing mindset, and you must start expanding your mind, because if your mind expands, your life will also expand. But if your mind starts shrinking, your life will start shrinking. Now, I'm here to talk to someone, ladies and gentlemen. Probably you are somewhere currently in your business, penye, your business is doing worse than it was doing an year ago. Probably an year ago, your business, you were signing up 50 people in a month, but currently, kufika 15 ni bahati mzuri. I'm here to tell you, the problem is not the business. The problem is your mind. Your mind started shrinking, and by your mind shrinking, your business followed the same. One thing that you must understand is that the business we do is 80% mental and 20% technical. What do I mean? I mean that the business is you. There is something that I was learning. I don't know who I was learning from. I was learning from Sir Collins Owaga, and he was telling me that, Joseph, this business mirrors you. This business mirrors you. Oh, sorry. It was not Sir Collins Owaga. It is Madam Sheila Marita. She was telling me that, Joseph, this business mirrors you. So basically, if you feel like your business is shrinking, it's not the business that is shrinking. No, it is your mind that is shrinking. It is your mind that is shrinking. So what you must always do is that you must always ensure that you're expanding your mind. Expand your mind. Because if you don't expand your mind, you'll think that the business is shrinking. But as you think your business is shrinking, trust me, the business is expanding to someone else. Ladies and gentlemen, we have not yet lived our best days yet. I don't know if anybody needs to hear that, but I hope someone is hearing this. We have not yet lived our best days yet. The best for us is yet to come. So you know, most of us, one thing that you must always understand, and I advise you guys, go and follow me on TikTok. I'm teaching so much things on there on TikTok. I'm commenting, I'm like. One thing that I was sharing on my TikTok yesterday, I was writing that the biggest enemy to your success is your previous accomplishment and your previous failures. Yes, I know you probably bought a piece of land, and probably you bought a car, and that particular car you lost it. It got to an accident and you lost that particular car. But I want you to know that the best is yet to come. Okay. Yes, I know you have a small car right now, but imagine you have not yet driven a Range Rover like Mentor Moses. So you must always expand your mind, have an expanding mind, have a growth mindset. The growth mindset that always focuses on, this is what was happening, but the best is yet to come. Yes, I used to make 100,000 shillings. Currently, I'm no longer, just an example. Probably you were making 100,000 shillings a year ago. Currently, you're no longer even making 30,000 shillings per month. But I want you to know that the best is yet to come. See, ati sasa, ati chance yako imepita, hapana. You can always get to work and end up making 500,000 or even 1 million. Just so you know, the best is yet to come. Go to the chat box if you can hear my voice and write, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. And I want you to operate from that level. And the only way you can get to operate from that level of the best is yet to come is if you know that if you expand your mind, your life will always continue expanding. I want you guys to expand your mind. The best is yet to come. Oh, I wish you knew. The best is yet to come. And how do you keep on expanding your mind? Hang around advancing men, you'll also start advancing. Hang around advancing people, hang around advancing men. I was sit down. I was not seated down. I was going to Eldoret. And as we were going to Eldoret, Mentor Moses started giving us a story of how his second dashboard is doing. Akatambia, my second dashboard has made me this amount, and the first dashboard has done this. And whenever I have sign up in the second dashboard, I'm able to make money in this first dashboard and all that. And I was like, wow. Mimi najiuliza venye nitaeka watu kwa hii dashboard yangu ya kwanza nijaze, na yeye anaongea kuhusu venye dashboard ya pili inatengeneza pesa. That is now an advancing man. A man who is thinking about the best that is yet to come, not about the worst that has happened. And by hanging around advancing men, I also dedicated and I also decided that, you know what, Joseph, you're going to build more dashboards. You're going to add another dashboard. You're going to be putting people and you're going to build your business again because the best is yet to come. So stop giving the story of what you used to do. You know, those are the tales of old women from old villages. No. Wacha kutupia story ya venye ulikuwa unafanya. Do it again. Yes, you will tell me, Joseph, I used to make 100,000. Now do it. Sawa, do it. There's a statement that says by Nyashinsky, kwa nini time ikifika wale husema wanajiweza wezangi tokea. Si unasema ulikuwa unatengeneza 100,000, tengeneza saa hizi tukuamini. Wacha kutuambia ulikuwa unatengeneza, tengeneza saa hizi. Sawa, tokea. Yes, you're claiming that, you know what, I used to sign up 8 people in a month. I used to sign up 10 people in a month. Now do it again right now. Let us see. Usitupe story, you know, uplines. Najua saa hizi uplines amfurahishi na mimi, but hiyo ndio mnafanyanga. Mnaambia downlines, you know, I used to do this. No. Do it again. Let us see you doing it again. And don't tell us, you know, right now I'm busy. You're not busy. You're not busy. Do it again. I used to make 100,000 shillings per month. Tengeneza tukuamini. Tengeneza saa hizi tukuamini. Wacha na mambo ya, wacha na hekaya. Hatutaki hekaya. Do it right now. Tutakuheshimu ukifanya saa hizi. You know, I used to have a very, very big team, have it right now, have the team right now. But the reason why you're no longer having that team that you claim you used to have is because your mind continues going down. One thing that I want you to understand is that if your business is going down, it means your mind has already gone. By the time someone is no longer getting signups, their mind already ilisha dunda. It starts in the mind. Success and failure starts in the mind. Sawa sawa. So ingia saizi kwa shughuli, usituambie mambo ya ulikuwa unafanya nini, lini. Tutajuaje ulikuwa unafanya ama udanganyi. You know? You're claiming ulikuwa unatengeneza 100,000 per month for 2 years na current earnings yako ni 700. Kivipi? Tunajua hii mambo. So expand your mind. Expand your mind and I want you to start thinking about how can I expand? If you lost yesterday, I want you to pay attention to what is coming, not what was past. The old is gone and the new has come. That is what the Bible says. The old is gone and the new has come. Now, the number 6 thing that I wish I had gotten this early on is that this business is a marathon and not a sprint. This business is a marathon and not a sprint. Don't dwell in your previous failures or the good old days. Venye tu tumetoka kusema hapo hivi before. Don't dwell in your previous failures or the good old days. The best is ahead of us. Focus on building the business with a long-term mindset, especially that long-term mindset. If you can hear my voice, go to the chat box and write long-term mindset. You know, most of us usually look at this business like it's something that you're doing for 4 years. We look at this business like it's something that you're doing for the next only 2 years from now, because sasa ushafanya miaka mbili, unafanya miaka ingine mbili peke yake. You know? And one thing that you must now embrace is that you must embrace a long-term mindset. I have been listening to several videos and I was listening to a person like Holton Bugs, and Holton Bugs has been saying that amefanya hii biashara for the last 30 years. And then I listened to a certain lady by the name Lisa Grossman, and Lisa Grossman was saying that she has now been involved in the industry for the last 32 years. And then I paid attention to a gentleman like Daniel Self and another gentleman by the name Brian Carruthers, and I noted these guys have done this business for the last 30 years. And I started asking myself as Joseph, if I have done this business for the last 7 years and I've already created this success, what if I give myself another 21 years? Listen to that. What if I give myself another 21 years? And of course, the last 7 years nikifanya hii biashara, sikuwa naifanya na experience, hata sikuwa najua ninafanya nini, nilikuwa nabahatisha. Nilikuwa na invite guest mmoja wawili, mmoja ananihurumia, anajua inatengeneza pesa. But now right now I have the skills. What if I commit myself to doing this business for the next 10 years with the experience that I have? Nitakuwa nimefika wapi in the next 10 years? Nini itanizuia niishi Karen? Nini itanizuia niishi Muthaiga? Nini itanizuia nikuwe na vikaa 10 kwa parking yangu? The long term mindset. The biggest problem with us is that tunaingia kwa hii biashara with ile mindset ya betting. Naweka pesa ikule alafu nihepe, nikule 2 3, na ndio maana you don't even think about adding accounts because your vision is very very limited. One thing that I can tell you is that your vision dictates how far you go. Your vision dictates how long you stay. If you see someone who is doing this business and then after something small happens and quit, ni kumaanisha hana maono. But someone who has a clear vision, they stay in this business for a very long time. Think about doing the business in the next 10 years and making all your dreams become a reality here. Okay? Have that particular, what do you call it? Have that particular long-term thinking. The thinking of, you know what? Just imagine this, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what I've been thinking. Yes, I've been operating from a point of, I have these leaders, you know, niko na Anthony Mutinda, you know, niko na Geoffrey Gikonyo, you know, niko na probably Alan Ruto, you know, probably niko na Philemon, probably niko na Levin. But then I got to ask myself the question of, what if I do this business for the next 10 years, and in the next 10 years, I'm able to have leaders, 30 leaders, 30 to 50 strong leaders wenye wako level moja na mimi saizi, ama wenye wako na level, imagine in the next 30 years niko na watu kama masterminds, 30 of them, different accounts. Just imagine that. Joseph Silole, one leg. Collins Owaga, another leg. Ronald Lagat, another leg. Madam Masigaki, another leg. Our upline and mentor, Ambassador Moses Adika, another leg. Joseph Mudonjia, another leg. Na niko na 30 like those. Why do you think, how much do you think I'll be making in those years? Hata nikifikiria tu mwenyewe, by the way, you might not see this, but nina smile na niko solo. That is because I'm now creating a long-term mindset. So all of us must now start having a long-term mindset. In the next 10 years, we'll be doing this business. And let's build like knowing in the next 10 years tutakuwa tukijenga hii biashara na tutakuwa tumefika mahali ambapo tungetaka kufika. So that is a lesson that I also learned. It's a marathon. We are doing this for the long term. If you know you will not finish the next 5 years, hata quit tu kesho. Sisi wenye tunajenga hii kitu long term utuachie. Number seven. And let me go back kidogo and maybe say something. A doctor works for 30 years in a hospital only for their salary to be increased to 300,000. If you do this business for the next 30 years, I'm telling you, you'll be making 100 million shillings per month. Now let's go to point number 7 that I learned. The seventh lesson that I learned is to take on more responsibility. To take on more responsibility. Every responsibility handed to you by life is an opportunity for you to grow. I repeat, every responsibility handed to you by life is an opportunity for you to grow. Think about someone who mlikuwa mko kwa rika moja na yeye ako ushago. Someone who is your age mate pale ushago, akona ng'ombe, akona bibi, akona nduthi, akona watoto wawili wanaenda shule, na ule jamaa anakaa anaendelea vizuri kukuliko wewe. Hapa Nairobi uko na iPhone. Uko na iPhone. Okay, ama Samsung. Watu ule jamaa akona ng'ombe, akona nduthi, akona watoto, akona bibi, you know, akona chama kadhaa. Ule jamaa anasonga. I know sometimes, you know, tukienda ushago tunaenda tumeshine, umevaa vizuri, you're dressing so well, but the person who is up there up country is probably doing better than you financially. Why? Because responsibilities help you to advance. Take on more responsibilities. Every responsibility handed to you by life is an opportunity for you to grow. Most of us usually look at responsibilities like it is a bad thing. But responsibility is not a bad thing. Responsibility is what helps you to become a better person. Don't have the victim mindset. Whenever you're given a certain responsibility by your mentor, by your upline, by life, you always say, why me? And my question is, why not you? Why not you? Why not you? A Christian Mora, English leader. Christian, you don't know Swahili. But anyway, I'm trying to do more English. I remember we have guys from the diaspora. Sorry for that. So as I was saying, it's just that the example that I was giving wouldn't make sense in English. Anyway, don't have the victim mindset of why me? Why me? Your mentor tells you to do this. Why me? Okay, my question is, who would you suggest? Who would you suggest? Don't have the victim mindset. Don't have the victim mindset. Take more responsibility. The more the responsibilities you can be able to carry will help you to grow. This is a statement by Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson says that you grow in direct proportion to the responsibilities you are willing to take upon yourself voluntarily. Let me repeat that. You grow in direct proportion to the responsibilities you are willing to take upon yourself voluntarily. How much responsibility are you willing to take upon yourself without anybody forcing you? That is what determines how fast you're able to grow. That is what determines how fast you're able to grow and how much you're able to grow. Yes, you have a certain office. You need to pay some certain rent in that particular office. But for you, what you're telling your upline is, upline, I cannot get 1,000 bob. Please, upline, let me do 500 shillings. Let me do 500 shillings. I cannot afford 1,000. And so you are losing an opportunity to be able to make the money that you should be making. So you grow in direct proportion to the responsibilities you are willing to take upon yourself voluntarily. Take on more responsibilities. One of the things that I've been learning about the gym, I'm not yet in the gym, but I know this, the heavier the weight you take upon yourself, the bigger the muscles grow. So more responsibility, more growth. Point number 8, treat yourself like an employee. Treat yourself like an employee you're responsible of. This is another thing that I learned, and I learned it quite late. The biggest challenge with most people is they expect too much or so much from the business, but they have a very, very small commitment. And I want you to answer this question to yourself, this question that I've written over here. If you employed someone who you will be paying $1,000, if you employed someone who you will be paying 100,000 shillings monthly, how much would you want them to commit to your business? And how many hours per day? Why don't you put yourself, and I learned this from Alex Ilole, and Alex used to say that I have decided to take myself like a bank manager. Bank managers go to the office at 8 in the morning. They leave their work at 5 every single day, whether they feel like it or not. But you realize most of us, because we know we are self-employed and you have time freedom and financial freedom and being your own boss, especially that part of being your own boss, you usually commit yourself into this business because you know nobody will ask you. Nobody will hold you into account. So you show up when you feel like, you do it when you feel like, and then after you don't do it, you now complain, I'm not making the money. My advice is very, very small. Treat yourself like an employee. Show up like an employee would. Do everything like an employee would. Let me tell you the reality. And I've done this and I've tested it and I've personally proven. If you are to commit yourself like someone who is employed, show up in the office every single day by 8 and probably be able to work till 7. Trust me, you will make way much more than an employee makes. For example, Miss Anna, I don't know if she's in this meeting. Anna, you used to work for Chicken Inn, and I know you are working for many, many hours. Do you think you're currently committing the same amount of money, the same amount of time you are committing in your job before? Definitely no. In this place, you're not working as hard as you used to, but you're making more than you are making before. So what do you need to do? Commit yourself, treat yourself like an employee. Yeah, Anna has answered, yes, not really. You're not working as hard as you used to do before there, and you're not making anything closely related with what they were paying you before, you know? So treat yourself like an employee. Show, like, for example, if you've ever been employed before, I want you to commit yourself the same amount you are committing to your job before. Commit to this business for the next 30 days. After the 30 days, you'll give me feedback. Your life will never be the same again. Treat yourself like an employee. That particular statement of this particular business, you could be able to get freedom. One thing that we must all understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that yes, in network marketing, you get freedom, but freedom is not free. If you can hear my voice, go to the chat box and write freedom is not free. Freedom, you pay for it. And you pay for it by extreme commitment. Okay? Extreme commitment. Someone once said that it is a pay now, play later, or a play now, pay later. So let's pay the price right now. Let us pay the price right now. Don't have any particular form of offs. There are no offs over here. There are no holidays. Monday to Monday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Commit yourself to doing the business on a daily basis. It is Monday, show up in the office. Tuesday, show up in the office. Wednesday, show up in the office. Thursday, show up in the office. Friday, show up in the office. Saturday, show up in the office. Sunday after church, show up in the office. Monday, repeat. Tuesday, repeat. Wednesday, repeat. Thursday, repeat. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, every single day. You are paying the price right now. So that when you're, right now, I want you to work as much as you can right now, because I know your friends are partying right now. And let me give you an advice. When you will be partying, they will be working. If you work right now, when your friends are partying, when they will be working, you will be partying. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still very, very young. We are young. We are very, just imagine, you're probably 30 right now. If you're 30 right now, why don't you commit yourself to doing this business like it's a job? You know, do this business like it's a job and you have been employed by a bad boss. Okay, do it like it's a job and you've been employed by a bad boss for the next 5 years, 10 years. And then by the time you're 40, you'll be busy partying in the Maldives. You'll be busy partying in Italy. Sometimes I usually close my eyes and see myself, already in the next 10 years, probably I'll be having a wife and a kid. We are in Italy, Sicily, Italy. I don't know if they call it Sicily or what, Sicily or whatever, Italy, somewhere in Italy. Over there, I'm having a convertible, an old Mercedes convertible. We are with my wife over there, with our kid. We are eating pizza and mozzarella. I see those things happening in 10 years. And if I can commit myself right now and work like a slave, and then in the next 10 years, I'll be in Italy eating pizzeria. Like, that is worth it. It is definitely worth it. I see myself driving along the shores of Cape Town, South Africa. There's a road there. I see myself in the next 10 years driving a Mercedes Benz, an old, mozzarella or whatever they call it. I see myself driving an old Mercedes convertible or a new Porsche GT3 RS convertible, listening to the old song, to the very beautiful song that I love, Another Day in Paradise. So if right now I'm going to commit myself in the next 10 years and work like a crazy person, and then in the next 10 years I'm there in South Africa or Italy eating mozzarella, it's okay. I don't know if it's even eaten or it's not eaten, but either way, you know what I mean? I see myself doing that. I'm working very, very hard right now. And then in the next probably 10 years, I'll be in Jamaica. I don't even like dancehall music, but I'll be partying in Jamaica. I hear they party very, very much, just dancing there in the next 10 years. There's no problem. I'm still young. If I do that and then in the next 10 years I'm doing that, I'll just be 36. 36 by the way is not old. Just so you know, 36 you're still young. Pay attention to your relatives. I know some of you are actually 36 na mko sawa. So if I can commit myself right now, work like a slave, and then in the next 10 years I'll be in pizza. I'll be in Italy, Sicily, in Italy, eating mozzarella. It's still okay. Very, very okay. So treat yourself like an employee with a bad boss, of course. That's something that I learned And I wish I had learned earlier. The other thing is you won't outgrow the basics. I used to think when I started the business that there's a level that you get and then you outgrow the basics. You must always realize that the foundation of our business is CIPF. Number one, prospecting, invitation, presentation, follow-up. Those are the foundation of our business, CIPF. And there is no time you should stop doing the fundamentals of the business, no matter how long you stay or how much money you make. Let me repeat, no matter how much you stay in this business and no matter how much money you make, never stop doing the basic. You won't outgrow them. Even when you're making 1 million shillings per month, you won't outgrow them. You won't outgrow them. You won't outgrow them. You won't outgrow them. You won't outgrow the basics. Keep on doing the basics because you won't outgrow the basics. The difference between the top 3% of network marketing income earners, the top 3 earners, is that the top 3% of earners do basics better than the remaining 97%. The difference between you and probably Sir Collins Owaga is Sir Collins Owaga does the basics better than you do them. So you won't outgrow the top 3%. I'm going to be vulnerable with you over here. If you stop building, you will rebuild. If you stop building, you will rebuild. For example, this is a moment of being vulnerable. You know, I'm teaching myself to be more vulnerable. Yes, let me share with you my personal experience. A year ago, I was building a team in Embu, and that team is kind of in my 7th account, and they were doing so well. And I had some good pendings. It's me being vulnerable. I told you these are things that has happened to me personally. So nataka learn from my own experience. So I got to a place where I was building my team in Embu, and they got to a place where they were growing on themselves. And then I stopped doing what I had done to build that team in Embu. And the team was growing, the team was growing. And of course, because it was on my 7th account, whenever I had a sign up on another account that is below the 7th account, of course, I was pairing on that 7th account. So today I had a sign up. And then when I put that particular sign up, I saw where I earned. Of course, I made money from my first account, my second account, my 8th account, my 9th account, but I didn't make money from the 7th account. So I was wondering, hey, did I get a gift check? And then I checked, and then I realized I didn't get my gift check. And then when I checked is when I realized, oh my God, I have already overpowered that team in Embu. Now, because I stopped building my team in Embu, I'll just have to rebuild again. Oh my God, I love this business. So whenever you stop building, you will rebuild. Whenever you stop building, you will rebuild. If you stop doing the activities that got you wherever you are right now, trust me, at some point you'll have to come back and build again. So don't stop building. You won't outgrow the basics. And the last lesson that I have learned in this business is that keep track of everything in your business. Know how many people you and your team have shown the business, presented to, following up, and etc. Know how many people. You must always track your business. Track your business. Always remember that for the successful people, success happens to them through change. To the poor people or to the unsuccessful people, they leave it to chance. They leave it to chance. Most of us, we always complain that I have not made 100,000 shillings, but you are not supposed to make 100,000 shillings because you presented to 4 people, umeelezea watu wanne biashara, and then after kuelezea watu wanne biashara, you didn't make 100,000, and now you're saying, oh, I didn't make 100,000. And you feel bad you didn't make 100,000. And that is because you're not conscious of, you presented to 4 people that even if all of them joined, you still wouldn't have made 100,000 shillings. So keep track of everything in your business. Know how many people you and your team have shown the business, presented to, or following up. If right now I was to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, how many people have you and your downlines showed their business to this month of April? Today is the 28th of the month. Ni watu wangapi mmeonyesha biashara huu mwezi? I'm not talking about sign up. No, I'm talking about presentations. How many presentations have you and your people done for this month? You'll realize you probably don't even know. You could be thinking that they're doing something, but they're not doing anything. You could be thinking that your downlines are working, but they have already retired. You are working alone. Keep track of your business. The only way you can build your business is by knowing the numbers. That is a lesson that I also learned quite late, and I would want you to learn it quite early. So my advice is very, very small. My advice is very, very small. Keep on learning. Keep on applying whatever I've shared with you, my 10 lessons from 7 years. May they help you to become a better leader or even a better network marketer. Asanteni sana na muwe na jioni njema.
Right, all right, all right. Let's appreciate our upline over there and our mastermind leader. Let's appreciate him over there in the chat box. Thank you